There comes a moment in every man's life where silence becomes unbearable, not because the world is too loud, but because the voice within has grown restless. A voice that keeps whispering truths we try so hard to ignore, that the life we are living is not the life we are meant to live, that the version of ourselves walking through this world with slumped shoulders, tired eyes, and broken dreams is but a shadow of who we could become if only we dared to break the chains that comfort has wrapped around us. In the depths of ancient Stoic wisdom lies not mere philosophy, but a sword forged from fire and truth, and it demands that we cut away every illusion we've allowed to grow around our soul. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations to become a philosopher king. He wrote them as battlefield prayers, as mantras to survive the weight of an empire and the heavier burden of his own weaknesses. Epictetus didn't teach to build followers. He taught to build unshakable souls. They knew, as we must know, that within every man resides two selves, the one shaped by fear, doubt, comparison, and the addiction to ease, and the other, the fire-born, forged by hardship, discipline, honor, and the refusal to kneel to anything but virtue. To kill the weak version of yourself is not an act of violence, but of mercy, a funeral for mediocrity and a resurrection of purpose. The weak version is the one who procrastinates dreams into decay, who chooses comfort over courage, who blames the world instead of building a better one, who scrolls for dopamine while his soul screams for depth. He is the version that feeds on validation but starves in silence. He says, maybe tomorrow, when life only offers right now. He avoids difficult conversations, runs from failure, and worships distraction. But you, the true you were not made for that. You were made to stand tall in storms. You were made to lift burdens heavier than you thought you could bear and find, to your shock, that your spirit never breaks, only bends and becomes sharper. You were not born to blend in with the background of existence. You were born to paint it with the colors of discipline, courage, and relentless effort. You kill the weak self not with hate, but with daily choices. When you rise at dawn while others sleep, when you speak truth while others lie, when you train while others quit, when you read while others gossip, when you endure pain with a smile because you know it carves you into something worthy. To be stoic is not to be emotionless, but to channel emotion like a river through the gates of wisdom. To be stoic is to stare down fear and say, "You may visit, but you do not rule me." To be stoic is to cry when necessary, bleed when wounded, but still walk forward without asking the world to pity you. Imagine waking up tomorrow and no longer apologizing for your ambition. Imagine no longer shrinking your voice so others feel taller. Imagine training your body until it obeys the command of your will. Imagine becoming the man whose presence demands respect, not because of titles or possessions, but because he has mastered himself. This is the potential stoicism promises if you're willing to bury the version of you that lives in excuses. Every day you delay, that weak self grows stronger, more comfortable, more persuasive. He tells you comfort is happiness, but comfort is the silent killer of greatness. He tells you to fit in, stay safe, avoid judgment. But every great soul was once mocked by cowards. He says you have time, but time laughs at those who assume its loyalty. The ancients knew what we've forgotten, that life is not long, but it is wide. And if you walk it with purpose, even a short life becomes eternal. Kill the weak self when you choose the hard path over the easy one. Kill him when you set boundaries and protect your time like a king guards his throne. Kill him when you speak your truth with trembling voice, because you'd rather be hated for honesty than loved for lies. Kill him when you meditate in silence and hear the roar of your own spirit echo back. And once he is dead, once the ashes of your old self drift in the winds of discipline, you will begin to see life not as a burden, but as a battleground for virtue. You will stop chasing pleasure and begin building legacy. You will stop fearing death and begin fearing wasted life. You will stop needing others to believe in you because you have stared into your own soul and found a cathedral of strength. You will no longer wait for motivation. You will move because it is your nature to act. You will find joy not in outcomes, but in effort. You will see pain as the instructor it has always been. You will laugh at misfortune, for you know it's just another chance to sharpen your blade. You will fall in love with the grind, not the goal. And when you look in the mirror, the man staring back will be a stranger at first. Fierce, focused, grounded. But soon, you will recognize him as the version of yourself that was buried beneath layers of fear. He has always been there, waiting for you to dig him out with the tools of discipline, truth, and action. No more lies. No more delay. No more giving pieces of your soul to people who don't deserve your time. This is your war cry. This is your path. Kill that version of yourself that settles. Kill the one that clings to doubt. Kill the one that is addicted to scrolling, comparing, waiting. Burn him with your breath. Silence him with your action. Bury him in your past. And from that burial, rise, like a stoic, like a warrior, like the man you were always meant to be. The man who no longer needs the world to approve, because he has earned the only approval that matters, his own. Every sunrise is a chance to begin again. Every hardship is a blessing in armor. Every scar is a signature of your resilience. This life is not for the faint of heart, but neither are you. So stand tall, walk forward, speak less, act more, own your time, sharpen your mind, guard your energy, train your body, forgive, but do not forget the lessons. And when doubt knocks again, let your silence answer. For you have become the storm. You have become fire. You have become stoic. As the dust settles and the echoes of your past fears and hesitations begin to fade into the distance, you stand at the precipice of a new reality. You have confronted the weak version of yourself, not with force, but with the quiet power of daily choices and deliberate actions. The path you walk now is no longer one of confusion or hesitation, but of clarity and purpose. You feel the weight of the world lighten, not because it is less heavy, but because you have grown stronger, more resilient, and more grounded in your truth. The person you once were, the one who doubted, who feared, who clung to comfort like a crutch, has been shed like an old skin. The transformation may not have been instant, but it has been real. With each small act of discipline, each moment you chose to rise above your weaknesses, you chipped away at the person you thought you had to be and slowly revealed the person you always were meant to become. In the silence of your soul, you now hear a different voice. It is not the voice of doubt or insecurity, but the voice of a man who knows his worth, his power, and his potential. This voice no longer asks for permission. It no longer pleads for validation from the outside world. It stands firm and resolute, unwavering in the face of challenges. The battles you have fought, against your inner critic, against the habits of procrastination, against the temptation to settle for mediocrity, have prepared you for this moment. And now, as you look forward, you realize that these battles were not the war itself, but the necessary preparations for something greater. The true war is not against external forces, but against the complacency of your own spirit. Every day is a battle to keep the fire alive, to keep moving forward, even when the world seems to demand that you slow down, to keep believing in your potential, even when the world tells you to conform to its limits. But you know better now. You know that the world has no power over you unless you give it power. You know that your limitations are not set by others, but by the walls you've built around your own mind. You are no longer bound by the rules that once governed you, the rules of fear, of doubt, of procrastination. You have rewritten the script of your life with your own hands. And as you look back at the journey, at the man you once were, there is no resentment, no regret, only gratitude. Gratitude for the struggles that forged you, for the challenges that shaped your character, for the moments of darkness that revealed the strength within you. You are no longer a prisoner to the idea that life is something that happens to you. You have become the architect of your own destiny. The man you are today is the man you always had the potential to be, the one who rises when he falls, the one who chooses discipline over comfort, the one who faces adversity with grace and courage. This is not a life of perfection, but a life of progress, a life where each day is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to become more aligned with the highest version of yourself. And as you walk this path, you begin to notice something beautiful. The world around you begins to change, too. The people you encounter sense the transformation within you. They feel the quiet strength you now carry, the the confidence that comes not from arrogance, but from the peace of knowing who you are and what you stand for. You no longer seek approval from others, because you have given yourself permission to live authentically, unapologetically, and fully. You stop measuring your worth by external standards and begin to measure it by the depth of your own character, the strength of your resolve, and the clarity of your purpose. The challenges you once feared no longer seem as daunting. Instead, you see them as opportunities to prove to yourself just how far you've come. Every setback is now viewed as a lesson, every obstacle as a stepping stone. The obstacles of the past that once seemed insurmountable are now mere whispers in the wind, unable to sway the force of your will. In the face of failure, you no longer shrink. You stand tall. You stand firm. You stand resolute. The man you were yesterday is proud of the man you've become today, and the man you will be tomorrow will marvel at the progress you've made today. You begin to see the beauty in the struggle to rise every morning with purpose, to discipline your mind and body, to make choices that align with your highest potential. The struggle is no longer something to avoid, but something to embrace, because you know that within the struggle lies the growth, and within growth lies freedom. Freedom from the limitations you once placed on yourself, freedom from the fear that once dictated your actions, freedom from the mediocrity that once defined your life. With each step forward, you shed the old version of yourself, piece by piece, until all that remains is the purest form of who you were always meant to be. A man who is unafraid to stand alone, unafraid to speak his truth, unafraid to face the unknown. The world around you may remain uncertain, but you have found your center. You have found your strength, and in that strength, you find the peace that comes with knowing that you are enough, that you always were, that you always will be. This is the life of a Stoic, a life that is not defined by external circumstances, but by the internal choices you make every day. A life that is not about perfection, but about progress. A life that is not about the avoidance of pain, but about the mastery of it. A life that is not about waiting for the world to change, but about becoming the change you wish to see. And as you continue down this path, you realize that the journey is never truly over. There will always be new challenges, new opportunities for growth, new ways to test your strength. But now, you face them not with fear, but with anticipation. For you know that each challenge is another opportunity to sharpen your blade, to fortify your spirit, and to continue becoming the best version of yourself. The weak version of you has been buried. The man you are now is a force to be reckoned with, and the world will feel the impact of your presence. Because you no longer live for approval, for comfort, for the validation of others. You live for the truth of who you are and the power that lies within you. You are the storm. You are the fire. You are the Stoic, and you are unstoppable.